Welcome, everybody. My name is Darius Shankar, Treasurer and Chair of the City of Albany Industrial Development Agency Finance Committee. We have all members of the IDA here today, with the exception of Anthony Gaddy and Joe Better. Our first order of business, as always, is I would ask for a motion for the waiving of the reading of the minutes and accepting the minutes as presented, since they have been previously distributed and posted for everyone's convenience. We have a motion. Second? Second. All right. Any comments, questions, deletions, anything, adjustments? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Next order of business, report from the Chief Financial Officer, quarterly financial report.
I'm just gonna interject.
Sure.
And recognize that Rob McGee is at the table for his first official meeting, representing us in general counsel for the city of Albany.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
All right.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick note that the values presented here are both unaudited and approximate. The audit is in process and we expect to have a full report in March. Well, I've only been here 9 months. It feels like much longer. But
You're welcome.
I've invited my colleague from DST to help provide contextual analysis for anything that I may overlook, or if there's any additional questions. This is our first annual review. So I hope that we're gonna hit all the high points, but again, any questions, comments, concerns, Tom Locutucci from DST is for that. So presented for your review are the financial figures for the period ending 12/31/24. The IDA finished the year and the quarter approximately $522,700 above budget, which represents a positive variance of 63%. Relative to the expenses, we finished under projection, which is to say over expended $117,610, which represents a variance of approximately 11% negative to budget. These values are a function of the activity that's occurred throughout the year. And again, we're happy to say that we had a productive, efficient, positive year. To provide some additional context, I wanted to, while they're not in your packet, just step you briefly through the cash flow and the income statement, just to show you how we got to where we were. Again, we'll keep these comments brief. Full disclosure will be presented in March. For the period ending 12/31/24, we presented a net income of $126,329. That represents an increase of approximately $184,700 to cash. So we got positive cash flow for the year. Cash from operations, $166,627. Because our operating cash flow is higher than our net income, we feel this indicates a strong operational process that we have here. Cash from investing activities, $18,088. That's made up of non-cash expenses that are added in, primarily depreciation and amortization, and then a small receivables adjustment from CRC CAC. We started the year with a cash position of approximately $3.6 million, ended the year with approximately $3.8 million. So about a 5% growth throughout the year. And again, we maintain good liquidity. Our ending cash balance demonstrates financial stability with sufficient reserves to meet any obligations that might be entailed. Tom, do you have any? Okay. Not at all. Moving on again briefly to the income statement. I'll keep the overview brief. Total fee income for the year, approximately $1.33 million. Total income overall, $1.36 million. So the fee income represents 98% of the overall income for 2024. The admin expenses, approximately $1.2 million, 70% of which are made up of the CSE admin and economic development contract. The other 30% are legal and professional accounting, miscellaneous, and insurance. Key insights on revenue. We generated $1.36 million in total revenue, with the majority, 1.13 coming from agency fees. As expected, the majority of the costs are administrative, particularly with respect to the CSE and professional fees category. Again, a more complete analysis will come in March, but we're happy to present what we feel to be a positive and productive 2024.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. Move on to the next order of business, unfinished business, 563 New Scotland Ave. We just had a public hearing on this. This is a resolution requesting additional benefits due to changed economic circumstances and timelines for the construction. So,
Thank you, Chair. This project was introduced last month, at the Finance Committee meeting in the board. And it was the subject of a public hearing that was just previously held, during which no public comments were received. Just as a refresher, this project involves the reconstruction of a multi-phase 188 unit multi-family commercial project on New Scotland Avenue across from St. Peter's Hospital. As representatives from the project applicant team are here with us and stated in the public hearing, additional financing is needed to engage additional phases of the project, and therefore a request for mortgage recording tax of approximately $211,000 additional dollars has come to this agency. As a result of that, per policy, we did hold a public hearing. Also, the request at hand involves pushing the completion date from July of this year, 2025, until August 31st, 2026. With that, if there's any additional questions for the applicant team or staff, we will do our best to answer them.
anybody? All right. Well, then, I would ask for a motion for positive recommendation. All right, resolution approving the additional assistance. Second? Lee? Any more discussion? All's in favor? Aye. All right. Congratulations.
Great.
Right. Next order of business, annual investment report.
Certainly. Pursuant to the bylaws and public authority law, the agency must prepare an annual report of the agency's investments. Beginning on page 8, you find that report. Should be noted that staff use this as an area of opportunity for 2025. The investments were held in cash and cash equivalents, community bank, spread over checking and money market accounts. The beginning, ending transactional activity and insurance postings are available for your review. Again, staff is planning to make this an area of focus for 2025. I think this is an operational area that can be improved.
All right. Next order of business is the property acquisition disposition report. This is an exciting one.
Thank you, Chair. Again, pursuant to the bylaws and public authority law, the agency must prepare an annual report of the agency's real property position. On page 10, you will find that somewhere.
Very concise.
Nothing.
No.
All right.
So given the sale last year of the disposition of the Liberty Park properties, it's none at this time.
All right. Any questions? The next order of business, agency update.
I will lead that off with a notice about the 2025 Economic Development Conference led by the New York State Economic Development Council. That is being held at the Albany Capital Center once again this year on February 11th and 12th. Unfortunately, I don't have a built-out agenda from EDC at this point in time to be able to share with you all, but if folks think they'll have an interest, please reach out to Maria, and we can get you all on the board registered for it, and there's an ask to staff to attend as well. And then the second point of conversation there is annually, we typically ask this agency to sponsor that conference, and the sponsorship level we usually sponsor at is a bronze level for $1,500. So that would be what staff is recommending at this point as well.
All right.
So I can make that motion if we need it.
Do we need to have a motion on that,
Or how do we do that?
We should.
Okay. So I can make the
That
motion for $1,500 bronze level. Second.
Sponsorship?
I'll second.
Oh, sorry.
Bill third. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
I should also note that with the bronze level sponsorship, we do get one complimentary registration as part of that. And we typically have anywhere from 3+ staff attending, so it's good to get that included. And then on I guess not really related note, but it involves New York State EDC. EDC is always very proactive in watching legislation that pertains to the Industrial Development Agency. So we've been getting email updates on those legislative updates they've been following, as does our council as well. We did get, I think Mike Bone called attention to it this morning, that the governor vetoed a bill that was passed requiring school district and labor union representatives on the Industrial Development Agency boards. So that one got vetoed, and then we're paying attention to any of the other ones in the hopper, as usual.
Nice, I would think so. The governor signed a law on December 21st. A new law that's specific to industrial development agencies, and in the gist of it is, one of the considerations that IDAs now need to consider is whether or not a new project has childcare for its employees. So we're looking at whether or not you need to amend your UTEP on this, and I'm happy to get and send you the legislation as well.
Please, thank you.
We don't think it needs to be doing it this time. It's just another consideration for IDAs, considering respective financial assistance, but I want to, it's a good, I want to encourage, businesses to have daycare opportunities for employees during the day.
And to be clear, it's analyzing whether it's included, it's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement, it's a good factor. You should consider it whether or not the project has that. If it does, it's a good factor. It's a good point of the idea.
Something we would add as we go through determining taxes.
Certainly, you can look at that, yeah.
So happy to talk about it.
How would that apply to most of our projects, which are residential and or, some commercial leasing?
I think it's just, if a project came before you and you
Yeah.
had that, that's a plus.
Okay,
It's just something to
I
be
see.
considered.
Like Colvin Avenue.
Right.
yeah,
Certainly,
Right.
it's not applicable in something.
all right.
I think that's it for, do you have other?
Yes,
things?
yeah, a couple more
one
things.
thing.
Great segue from Liz. We will be picking up our framework analysis. We are scheduling a call hopefully next week with our third-party consultant to get that restarted, and we will hope to schedule a governance committee to jump back into that in February. We'd really like to get that situated if possible, the first half of this year, and see how quickly we can roll that out. So stay tuned there. The agency did receive a request letter from Richville Capital involving Tobin First Prize in their request to seek assistance through the county. I think we had previously discussed this. We will be discussing this in more detail at the board meeting next week. Mr. Hoblock will be in to answer any questions just generally about the project, since we don't have a ton of information here as staff, so we thought that would be good. But our initial take is to draft a response letter that will hash out the reasoning why or why not we think that is appropriate. And I think we have gone over the complexities of the site with the intermunicipal boundaries and the need for shared services, including emergency services and things of that nature that make it ultra complicated for either the city or Colony to individually take that pilot request on, or even in tandem. But we will circulate a draft response next week.
I think a situation that's kind of tailor-made for the arrangement that the county and the municipalities have had for decades now. It's a two jurisdiction project.
You have buildings straddling literally municipal lines.
Yeah. Do the lines actually go through the bedrooms the way they do it with SUNY in the dorms?
They've tried to shift
I
it.
think they've tried to shift the building so that they straddle the boundaries now, or don't straddle the boundaries, kind of separate from the boundaries at this point. They did cross through buildings previously, I think.
Okay. The minutia we concern ourselves with. All right.
So
Thank you.
stay tuned there. There's still more to come on agency update. Cassidy is passing out draft, meeting schedules for both finance and board for this calendar year. Newsflash, it's the same as it is now. It's the second Wednesday for finance and third Thursday for the board. One thing to keep in mind is that I believe there's a couple meetings here that fall during school break, both winter break in February, I believe, and possibly spring break. So just something to keep in mind. If there's any meetings on this proposed schedule that you know in advance that you can't, please just let staff know. And that way, if we get to a point as we approach that meeting where there's a quorum issue, we'll have the ability to reschedule that if necessary. So assuming there's no major objections to this schedule, this will be posted up on our website as a final version by the end of the week.
And we'll be sending out the calendar invites as usual.
Mhm.
On this one.
No problem.
Anything else for agency update? How are we on compliance?
We have a couple updates. I'll start off and then pass the torch to Olivia. The response that the the inquiry the agency received from OSC late in November on our 2023 annual report. We did get responses back to the OSC on that. They've since responded to our response, and our responses have sufficed. As such, there were a handful of items that needed to be slightly adjusted in Paris, so they have reopened Paris. So we will be making some minor adjustments to some of the data we input, and they will be recertifying that, so we'll let you know when that's recertified.
Great.
And further on compliance, our annual compliance letters did go out last week via email to our project representatives. We've started to get some responses, so we'll be tracking that over the coming months and we'll be giving more updates to the board throughout that time. So you can be expecting that. We also have our board compliance forms over here. I have received some from some of you, so thank you for that. But if you know that you haven't, or I know there's at least one of you who have completed some of them and still need to complete more. So I will distribute those. We also have the little PDF, so whichever you prefer, just let me know and we can do that.
All right. Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. We stand adjourned.
Yeah.